Okay, everyone, thanks for joining. This is Matt with Telco Dealers. Hope everyone's having a good day. Today, we're going to talk about how to purchase a domain and use a dedicated domain inside of the ARC AI system. So the first thing you're going to do is click on the settings tab in the blue bar. Then you're going to scroll down to domains and URL redirects. Once you click on that, this is where you have the option to purchase a domain. So if I wanted to purchase a domain, or I could transfer in an existing domain, if you're using somebody like GoDaddy, any of these other domain providers, this is where you have the option to do that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit purchase domain. If I want to see if a domain is available, this is where I would type it in. So if I wanted to look for Telco Dealers for me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the search button. And right here you can see these gives me the options of what's available for that specific domain. And I can go ahead and purchase it right here in the system for the year. All these different options as well. So if I liked any of these options, I'll go ahead and hit buy. And then I have the ability to agree to the terms and conditions. If I want to view those, I can click that and then hit the pay button, and then boom, it's ready to go. You could also bundle all of these existing domains with this little bundle package right here for $28.38. So again, whatever domain you want to use, this is how you can purchase the domains right here in the ARC system. All right, great. So now what I'm going to show you how to do is how to set up a dedicated domain for when you're sending emails. Now, this is an important feature that you're going to want to consider using if you plan on sending out any type of bulk emails to your contacts. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is click on the settings tab. Once you click on the settings tab, you're going to go scroll down and click on email services. Once you're inside email services, you'll see a message here that I encourage you to read, which will tell you why you should definitely want to consider getting a dedicated email domain. Again, it prevents you from getting into spam, prevents you from getting into trouble with Google and Outlook when it comes to sending a lot of emails. So again, having a dedicated domain, very important. So we're going to go ahead and hit create dedicated domain. Once we do that, this is where we would put in the domain information. Again, there's some little note over here that just gives you an idea of what to do. We never recommend that you use your actual website domain. We want you to use a subdomain for that domain. So example would be mg.mydomain.com or maybe info.mydomain.com. You know, whatever your domain is would be after the dot. So it would be info.yourdomain.com. Okay. That way, when you're sending out emails, if in case for some reason you get blacklisted for sending out too many emails, which can happen, not often, but it does happen, this does not ban your entire domain off of Google or Outlook, okay? So that's how you would do that. Okay, once you do that, you type in your domain and hit add and verify. Okay, here you'll see the actual email services. This is where you can click and see your reply and forward settings. So if you want a forwarding email address or a BCC, this is where you could add that. Your reply address, that can be all added here. You can also look at your email analytics, your bounce classifications to see if you're getting blocked by ISPs. Very important to look at that. Then we have our Postmaster tools, which this is really important, is you connect to your Google Postmaster. This will help you deliver to Gmail accounts. And then for Exchange and Outlook, we have the Microsoft SNDS section, okay? Okay, then we have our Postmaster tools. You really want to make sure you're connected to Google Postmaster. This gives you the ability to send messages to Gmails a lot more efficiently. So again, you want to connect that information to a Postmaster. And then you can see here, these are the dedicated domains that you might have set up for sending emails. This is just an example of some of the ones that we have. Over here, same thing with Microsoft. You can look and see your results, and you can see that we have that dedicated IP address and domain right here, and it tells you what's happening if you're getting sent into spam. If you're having any issues, it would be in red, and if you're getting any complaints, you would see that here. Okay, so once you're here in your Postmaster tools, you can click and look at the details of a specific domain by clicking on it. Okay, so back in the beginning, there's a section where it says dedicated domain and IP. Click on that. Once you're there, this is where you can see what domains that you have that are being warmed up. So as you can see, we have multiple domains. Not everyone needs to do that. It just depends on how many emails you're sending. Each domain you're sending emails out on, you're going to want to warm them up. As you can see, this warm-up process, we're already on stage 10, and we can send up to 35,000 emails now a day on this specific domain. You can see over here, we have this one's on stage 2. It's up to 2,500 emails a day. And you can do that for as many domains as you need to. And again, this is dedicated to one IP address, but you still want to warm up each domain. Okay. And it's very easy. If you want to start the warm-up process, you'll see a button right here that says Start Warm-Up. You'll click that. Right here it says Domain Warm-Up Initiated. And then again, if I wanted to integrate it with Google Postmaster, I could click that as well. Okay, then up here we have Domain Configuration. This is really important because you want to set up how you want your emails sent from what domain. So if you have multiple domains that you're sending emails from, this is where you can kind of set up and split it out over based on the use case. So if I wanted a specific domain to be sent out for calendar emails, this is where I could select that. If I wanted to add more than one domain, I could split it into 2 or even 3. I could click on the frequency settings. So maybe I want one domain to do 75% and then the rest to do, 10 and then 20. My math is bad, but you get what I'm saying. And then I could apply that, and then that's how much emails would come out from each domain. Okay. All right, so here are the different use cases. You have payments, if you're collecting payments, one-on-one conversation with somebody through the system. If you're doing a bulk email, you want it to come from a specific domain. Campaigns, if you're running a specific campaign. Workflows, if you're sending out emails through workflows and you want it to come from specific emails. And then you have what we call a default dedicated domain. You're always going to want to choose one of those as your default. Okay. Same thing for clients. This is where they would get an email from as well. If you have agents working underneath you and you're sending a notification through the system. All right, and that's it. So that's how you set up domains, whether it's buying your own domain for a website or a dedicated domain with an IP address for emailing. That's what this module is for. If you need additional help with this, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you set this up. That's what our team is here for. If you're somebody who's technical and wants to do it on their own, that's up to you as well. But again, this is how you set up the domains. Best of luck with telco dealers, and have a great day.